My name is Sofia Martinez. I'm 17 years old. On a quiet Thursday evening, while I was returning home from school, something unexpected happened.
One moment, I was laughing with my friends, sharing TikTok videos, and the next, I felt myself slipping away. I don't remember the impact clearly. I only remember the cold, the sudden weightlessness, and the strange quiet that followed. It was like waking up in a world that had never existed. I wasn't on Earth anymore. I was floating, light as air, suspended above everything familiar. The stars seemed closer here, sharper, each one glowing with its own rhythm, vibrating like a heartbeat. And then, I saw him. Jesus wasn't as I expected. No flowing white robes, no long hair. He was made of a pure, radiant energy I couldn't describe. A light that didn't hurt the eyes but seemed to seep directly into my soul. The air around him shimmered and sang not with words, but with understanding. A voice that was both inside my head and everywhere around me spoke gently. "Sophia, welcome." Tears streamed down my face, though there was no pain. He showed me my life from above, like a tapestry of moments, family dinners, phone calls, online chats, the endless scrolling. At first, I felt proud. I had friends, followers, likes, comments. I had plans for college, dreams for the future. And yet, I realized something frightening. He didn't scold me. He only showed me. Screens across the world glowed with grey smoke. I could see only here. Children my age, younger even, their eyes glued to phones, tablets, and computers. The content looked harmless from the outside: funny videos, challenges, memes. But in the spiritual vision, it pierced hearts like tiny arrows. I saw sadness hiding behind every selfie, every forced smile, every scroll. Shadows whispered lies. "You're not enough. Nobody cares. Give up." And the children listened. "Jesus, let me watch." I could see the arrows hitting one by one, embedding themselves in their spirits. A boy laughing at a video, thinking it was funny. Yet each laugh chained him tighter to fear. A girl taking dozens of selfies, trying to be perfect, and every flash strengthened the shadow beside her, whispering cruelty. I felt my chest tighten, heartbreak and sorrow, mingling with the awe of seeing truth like this. He didn't speak words yet. He only guided my vision. We looked at houses, schools, playgrounds, children alone, even in crowds, staring at screens, lost in invisible darkness. Then, he showed me one child praying, a small boy, kneeling by his bed, whispering, "God, help me tomorrow." And then, light exploded. A beam shot straight from his room, cutting through the shadows like a knife, piercing the grey web and lighting the world around him. Jesus smiled, and the entire space felt warmer, alive, victorious. "Do you see, Sophia?" His voice now threaded with joy. "The enemy fears the children. If they awaken, if they know who I am, they will be unstoppable. That is why he blinds them early." I wanted to run, to stay in that warm, shining place, but I could feel the pull to return, to speak, to warn. "Go back," he said. Tell the parents. Put down the screens. Look at their children. Remind them they are not alone. Remind them they are not accidents. They are warriors." I shivered. The thought of returning to the world, to the confusion, the noise, the endless scrolling it, terrified me. "I'm scared," I whispered. "I don't want to go back." He bent closer. His light touched my heart. "You are not alone, Sophia. I am closer than the air in your lungs. Go, and I will never leave you." And just like that, the warmth began to fade. The brilliant light dissolved, replaced by the cold reality I had known the hospital, the bright fluorescent lights, the beeping machines. I gasped, choking on a tube in my throat, surrounded by hands trying to save me. But even there, in the harsh, bright, noisy world, I felt it. His presence, the mission, the message. The hospital smelled like antiseptic and fear. Machines beeped in chaotic rhythm, and nurses were moving fast, speaking in words I couldn't form. My chest burned, my throat was dry, and yet, in the center of that chaos, I could still feel him. The light inside me wasn't gone. It was quiet, pulsing, like a heartbeat, reminding me who I was and why I had returned. Jesus didn't leave me. I could feel him, watching, guiding, waiting. Even with the tubes down my throat and the pain searing through me, his presence filled the room, and I realized this was the battlefield. The screens, the phones, the apps, they weren't just toys. They were weapons aimed at the hearts of kids like me. Later, in the visions, I saw it clearer. Children scrolling in their bedrooms, laughing at memes that whispered lies. Teens comparing themselves to filtered photos. Perfection curated. Hearts silently breaking. Parents arguing. Voices rising. While the children's attention was stolen by glowing rectangles in their hands. Every time someone scrolled past to cry for help, ignored a friend's text, skipped a prayer, I saw a tiny thread of light snap. And the shadows, the whispers grew stronger, moving faster, planting doubt, envy, fear. Jesus took me to one boy. He was just 10, but the arrows of online cruelty were piercing his heart like tiny daggers. I wanted to scream, to stop the world. But then Jesus touched my mind, and I understood something terrifying. It wasn't just the content, it was the silence, the neglect, the parents scrolling too, the teachers scrolling too, the society scrolling too. Look closer, Jesus said, and suddenly, I could see the whispers more clearly. They weren't demons in the traditional sense. They were dark reflections of what we already allowed, the lies we told ourselves, the cruelty we allowed online, the anger we nurtured. Each phone, each device, each like and share could either strengthen the shadows or cut through them. I watched a teen girl my age. She was posting story after story, desperately seeking validation. The shadows latched onto her, whispering, "Not enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough." She collapsed in her room, tears streaming, feeling alone in a crowd of followers. Jesus, let me touch her spirit. And for a moment, I could send a spark of light, warmth, hope, love. I felt her grasp it, and the shadows recoiled. I understood then that even a single heartbeat of encouragement could save a soul. This is the war, Jesus said. It isn't headlines, it isn't politics, it's the heart. Every child, every teen, every mind that is handed a screen, they are the battlefield. Will they choose the light, or will they feed the shadows? He showed me families, parents working late, distracted, exhausted, but even a moment of attention, a hand on a shoulder, a kind word, a shared laugh. It was a weapon against the darkness. He showed teachers who noticed one kid, listened to one student, told them, "You matter." That one small act lit a thread of gold through the grey web. Then I saw something I didn't expect. I saw myself, my own mistakes, my own time wasted online, the moments I ignored friends in need. The shadows inside me whispered, "You're too late. It's hopeless." But then I felt Jesus' hand on my chest in the vision, and it was like every wrong choice I'd ever made could be turned into light. "You must go back," he said. "It is not enough to see. You must act. You must speak. Warn them. Guide them. Show them the danger before it consumes them. They will not listen at first. Many will resist. But your voice carries a spark, and the spark becomes fire." The images shifted again. I saw teens ignoring each other, lonely in their bedrooms, hearts aching. I saw parents yelling, scrolling, distracted. And then I saw the golden threads, thin, fragile, but unbroken lines of hope, weaving through the darkness. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every prayer whispered it, strengthened the light and weakened the shadows. "The darkness is patient," he said softly. "It does not attack all at once. It creeps, unnoticed. But light is persistent. Even the smallest candle can pierce it." I cried then, not from sadness, but from urgency. I wanted to stay in the light, but I understood the mission. I had seen too much, felt too much, known too much, to turn away. The shadows were real. They were coming for us all, but the light was stronger, and it was my turn to shine. "Go back," he said again. "Teach them to guard their hearts. Teach them to love. Teach them to see the truth behind the screens. Do not waste a moment. And then I felt the pull back to my body. The bright hospital lights replaced the glow. The machines beeped frantically. The cold and pain returned. But I was armed with something more powerful than fear: purpose. My eyes snapped open to the blinding white lights of the ICU. Beeping machines, cold metal, and the smell of antiseptic hit me instantly. My chest throbbed, every breath a struggle, and the tube down my throat made me panic. I tried to scream, but only a gagging sound came out. Nurses rushed around me, voices urgent, yet distant like echoes from another world. But through it all, I could feel him. The warmth, the calm, the light from before hadn't left me. I could hear his thought, his presence, guiding me through the chaos. My heart was racing, my body weak, but inside, something unshakable had taken root: purpose. A nurse noticed my eyes open and gasped, calling for the doctor. My parents arrived moments later, rushing in, their faces pale and terrified. I couldn't speak because of the tube, but I squeezed their hands, and I knew he was speaking through me. Do not fear. There is more work to do. Once I was stable, I began to process what I had seen. The shadows in social media weren't just scary stories, they were real. Teens scrolling mindlessly, hearts empty, attention stolen. Every comparison, every harsh comment, every lie whispered online strengthened the darkness, while small TS of encouragement, kindness, and truth created threads of gold. I began to notice it in my own life. My friends, staring at their phones like zombies, ignoring each other's feelings. I saw the likes and comments they craved, the anxiety it caused, the moments of jealousy, of envy, of quiet self-loathing. They weren't accidents. They were weapons. And I had been asleep, letting the shadows grow stronger in the world around me. Jesus' voice came to me again, not as words, but as understanding. You have returned to fight, not with swords or shields, but with hearts, with words, with attention, with love. I started small. At school, I noticed the quiet ones, the ones who were scrolling alone, feeling invisible. I spoke to them, smiled, shared a kind word. The effect was immediate. Even the smallest acknowledgement lit a thread of gold in their hearts. And I realized something terrifying. Many of my friends had been starved for this attention for so long that one act could shift everything. At home, I spoke to my parents differently. I asked them to put down their phones when I talked, to listen. My mother, tired and distracted, finally looked up and really saw me. My father, stoic as ever, held my hand and didn't let go. Each small moment created more threads of light, weaving through the grey web I had glimpsed in the visions. Then came the hard part, confronting the social media world. I posted a video, sharing the truth of what I had seen, not to scare, but to awaken. Teens watched with wide eyes, parents gasped. Some dismissed it, but others paused, reflected, and shared. And the threads grew. The shadows hissed, but the light was spreading faster than I thought possible. Jesus reminded me, do not expect everyone to listen. You will face mockery, anger, disbelief, but the light does not need all hearts to shine. It only needs one spark at a time. I thought about the girl in her bedroom, the boy scrolling endlessly, the teachers and parents who had missed chances. I realized the mission wasn't just mine. Every single person could fight the shadows if they chose, and even small choices, turning off a device to speak to a friend, sharing a kind message, forgiving someone, created golden threads. That's the message I had to carry. Wake up. Social media isn't harmless. The shadows are real, but so is the light. Choose it, protect it, spread it. As I recovered, my heart carried a fire that couldn't be extinguished. I knew the road would be hard. I knew the world would resist, laugh, scroll past. But I also knew something greater. The light was stronger, love was stronger, and even one thread of gold could unravel the entire web of darkness if enough hearts held onto it. I wasn't the same Sophia Martinez who had died. I had seen the truth. I had felt the light. And now, I had a mission to reach hearts, to guide hands, to shine where shadows loomed. Because the war wasn't on the streets, or in classrooms, or even online. It was inside the heart, and every heart I touched, every golden thread I strengthened, became a battle won. After I left the hospital, the world looked the same, but I saw it differently. The streets, the schools, the cafes, even my own home, they were filled with people unaware of the shadows creeping through their screens. Social media was no longer just an app or entertainment. It was a battlefield for hearts. I started speaking wherever I could. At school, I gathered small groups of friends and shared what I had seen. I told them about the light, about the golden threads, and about the dangers of letting screens control their minds. Some laughed, some rolled their eyes, but some listened, and their eyes lit up. They began to notice each other differently, to encourage instead of compare, to pause instead of scroll endlessly. At home, I asked my parents to help me reach others. Together, we organized small meetups, online forums, and video messages aimed at teens and parents alike. We didn't try to scare anyone. We didn't lecture. We simply shared the truth I had witnessed. That the shadows of envy, judgment, and self-loathing thrive when hearts are ignored and minds are filled only with screens. One evening, I sat in my room scrolling through comments on a video I had posted. I saw hundreds of teenagers sharing their own stories, some laughing, some crying, some thanking me for opening their eyes. I realized then that I wasn't fighting alone. Every teen choosing kindness, empathy, and self-awareness was creating more golden threads, weaving a net strong enough to catch even the heaviest darkness. Jesus' presence never left me. I felt him in every act of love I witnessed, every hand held in comfort, every smile shared instead of ignored. His message was clear. The battle isn't in the devices, it's in the heart. Protect the heart, and the world can heal. I also understood why I had returned. My life had been spared, not just to survive, but to guide others. Every day, I encountered the temptation to T lost in the endless feed, to compare, to envy, to be distracted. But I remembered the tunnel of light, the calm, the perfect understanding, and the vision of the shadows. I remembered the stakes, and I chose to act differently. Parents began asking questions. Teachers began to notice changes in their classrooms. Teens who had felt invisible now felt empowered. And slowly, I realized that even one person's choices could ripple outward, touching lives we could never measure. That was the lesson I had brought back from beyond. The smallest act of care, the tiniest thread of love, could undo years of darkness. I won't lie, it hasn't been easy. There are days when the weight of the world presses down, when the shadows seem stronger than ever. But I remember the light. I remember the presence, the warmth, the perfect understanding. And I remember the mission, to fight not with anger, not with fear, not with despair, but with love, attention, and intentional action. I speak now not as someone who survived death, but as someone who witnessed eternity and returned with a warning. Social media is powerful, yes, but what it influences most is the heart. Do not allow it to teach hatred, envy, or judgment. Instead, let it be a place for connection, for truth, for empathy. Every message, every post, every comment is a choice. Choose wisely. And for every teen scrolling endlessly, feeling alone, feeling like they must be perfect or fail, I see you. I know how it feels. But you are not alone. There is a light stronger than any algorithm, stronger than any lie or insult online. It is real, it is powerful, and it is inside you. Protect it, feed it, share it. That is how we fight back. That is how we win. As I close my eyes at night, I feel the golden threads stretching through the world. Each one a connection, a choice, a heartbeat changed. And I know this. The war is long, the shadows persistent, but the light, our attention, our love, our care will never fail. I am Sophia Martinez, and I came back to remind you, wake up. Social media is real, but so is your power to choose. The fight begins, not online, not in the news, not in the arguments, it begins in your own heart. Protect it, nurture it, let the light shine through every post, every word, every action. That is the true message. I bring back from the edge of eternity.